We're on the computer. We are on.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:32. Present are Josh Howroyd, myself, Chairman, Vice Chairman Paul Rubin, Commissioner Lisa O'Neill, Executive Director Joe Diascoli, Recording Secretary Karen Abradis, and our Fiscal Manager, Boomer.
Bob Coonahan, for the record.
Yeah, I know. I know your name. So we're going to call the meeting to order, and the first item of business is the adoption of minutes for September 16th, 2020. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Lisa,
I'll second.
seconded by Paul. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It is 3-0. We'll move on to item 3, correspondence. The only listed member is the HAI Low Loss Ratio Award.
Yeah, once again, I'm proudly to say that from our housing assurance group, really no claims. So this is on a 3-year basis, and once again, really no claims through the insurance company. So we've got a little certificate awarding us, recognizing us doing a great job for the past 3 years with a low loss ratio.
Very good. Appreciate that. Anybody have any comments?
We would love to see
Congratulations. Yeah, keep up the good work.
what we pay, but
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to item 4, accounts payable. These are the bills we paid for September that were distributed to the board members prior to the meeting.
yeah, and it's business as usual, as I always say. Boomer, we have all the quality control. Boomer looks at all the bills that are being distributed from our accounts payable, Cheryl Stout, then forwarded to both myself and to Josh for signature. So we have all the
Yeah.
double checking on all the bills. So it's business as usual.
Yep, nothing extraordinary. I can attest to that. Okay, moving on to item 5, the executive report. First item is A, financial statements for September 2020.
Yes, and before I have Boomer make any comments, just want to let everyone know that this was basically a interim report since it's our end of our fiscal year. So we're just waiting to finalize all the closing of the book. So as of right now, based on the comments, AMP1, we're currently a gain of about $167,000 for the year end. AMP2 showing a gain about $71,000. The state elderly is showing a deficit of about $48,000, and that's because of a lot of the expenses that we had in COVID at our sites there.
Yeah.
But overall, with the COCC, roughly about $270,000 as of right now, before we make any adjustments for the year end. So
Yeah.
I feel confident to say that overall, again, for this fiscal year, the housing authority is in great shape monetarily. Kudos to our maintenance and spending and everything else. So I'll let Boomer say anything if you want to mention anything else in regards to the report.
Boomer, you have any comments?
Oh, I just unmuted myself. Joe mentioned the interim status, and there will be a lot of expenses added on when we put in accounts payable, because we don't get a lot of the bills for stuff that was in September. Sometimes with the slow mail now, we're not getting them for 15 to 20 days until the end of the month. So
Yeah.
we do, according to our regular rules, we have to put those expenses in as accounts payable. So we're waiting to do that. Now, one does not know how much that will be, but one thing that is in there is utilities, because we have to add in all the utilities for September, and that is added. Now, during the year, we just go regularly through, but at the end of the year, we have to put in the September utilities for all the projects. So that
Yeah.
will somewhat substantial. I actually did an entry today that added 42,000 in expenses throughout the whole authority, which was accrued payroll. Because
Mhm.
our payroll was split at the end of the year, so we had to actually pick up 7 days of payroll that were paid in October and added to the expenses. So that's the reason I always caution about that
Right.
statement. And as I've said to you before, I will do a final statement when we're all done and show it to you that way next month when I do the, maybe with the October report or instead of the October report, because 1 month
Yeah.
is anyway, so.
Right. That would make more sense to actually kind of do the end of the fiscal year, because 1 month in doesn't really tell you anything
Exactly.
anyway. So it'd probably be a better use of your time to kind of do a more comprehensive kind of end of the fiscal year
Right, and if that, I
type
think
thing.
for you, that's what we'll do next month then, okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Anybody have any questions?
No,
Okay. Lisa, nothing? Okay, we're going to move on to item B, the vacancy reports for September 2020.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to table that because we're under a computer conversion and I did not get that.
Okay.
Steve, so, but I think overall, just looking at the stuff, I believe we have about 4 or 5 empty units right now that are being rehabbed at peak. I know last month we had quite a bit of units that were in leasing or being ready. So we have about 6 or 7 that are coming off the books that are being leased up. So what the guys have been doing and being very cautious going into these units. Same thing as a conversation that Boomer and I had today. The HUD field office had reached out to me in regards to, why it's taking a little longer to rent up these units. Unfortunately, Martha and Steve are calling people off the wait list, and people are just being kind of hesitant. It's just not with our housing authority, it's with all housing authorities throughout Connecticut. So we're doing the best that we can, and that conversation I had with HUD, so but staff is doing what we need to do, and we're just running along.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's no need to formally table. We'll just do a vacancy report. You just kind of gave a vacancy update anyway, so that's sufficient. Anybody have any questions?
no.
Seeing none, we're going to move on. We'll move on to item C, general information. First item is the modernization report with the RFP for the scattered site roofs.
Yeah, just today was the deadline in which with John D'Amelia we have a individual named Niles Scala, who is our modernization coordinator through J. D'Amelia and Associates. So our first task during this whole COVID, because we really haven't done anything, we put out an RFP in regards to roofs. It's for the 4 remaining scatter sites, and we also added a 5th roof, which is our administration office. It does need a new roof, so I believe Niall told me only one submission came through out of 5 entities that did come out to take a look at the walkthrough. So we're going to just look through that once again, and if everything pans out, then award the RFP to one individual company, so we can get these roofs done before winter arrives. So and by doing it,
It's going to be, Joe, did you just say there's 5 people bidding or 1 person bidding?
we only received one RFP. There was 5 companies that came out and to take a look at the scatter sites.
But the deadline was today, right?
Today was the deadline. So based on that, we're going to most likely award that to that one individual company, in which hopefully we can get these roofs up and going within the next 2 weeks.
What company is it?
American Integrity Restoration out of Glastonbury.
All right.
And they did the roof job for us, as you may recall. A few months back, they did one of the properties down at Spencer Village. That's the one that
Yeah.
had the $30,000
Okay.
from our nonprofit, and they did a heck of a job in that roofing. So,
Yep.
we at least this time we have 5 entities, but only one came through. So,
Okay. Yeah. At least it's a firm that you'd be comfortable with, and that's assuming the numbers look suitable. That's good.
yeah. So Niles from
Okay.
the organization, he will be checking everything out and everything else. So there's added incentives with Niles. So they'll be going through, and if everything checks out, we will award that and go forward.
Yep. Sounds good. Any other
Joe, can you give
questions?
me, yeah,
Yep.
Joe, can you give me Niles's last name?
His last name is Scala. It's S as in Sam, Cala. First name is Niles, so
Okay.
it's Nile.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Second item is the memo regarding the West Hill Congregate Revitalization Project.
Yes, finally, we gotten some progress starting to go after a long, almost a year battle, that we've been having with Northeast Builders. Finally, last Thursday, they started finishing off the remaining items that need to be done, in which they have 56 days to get the remaining project. The past two, last Thursday and Friday, they started the walkway. Today they finished the walkway, and if you take a drive, and I know Josh is taking a drive, there are big machineries there, because beginning on Monday, between Monday through Wednesday, they will be milling and taking the parking lot apart and repaving it. It's going to be a 3-day operation. Right before this call, so I'm just going to let you know, I guess Marianne has gotten phone calls from the town. I have not specifically got the information who, but I guess there are some individuals that are a little upset because now, they need to be careful walking through the parking lot because you're going to have all these machineries going on. Individuals have to park their car on Bluefield Drive. I understand it's going to be a little bit of a walk, but it's a 3 days. So I'm going to try to do a little more damage control tomorrow there with the residents and everything else, and find out who from the town may have an issue, explain what's going on. But it's almost like when you're paving a road or something else, you just need to be careful and everything else. So I'll try to take care of that. But if there's any issues from the town, I will shoot an email to all the board and just to keep you abreast of what's going on. But we're hoping that this whole project will be done within the next 56 days. I gave everyone a copy of the schedule, so I'm going to be on top of them and letting CHFA know if they're not showing up and everything else. So,
No, that's good news that they're finally moving, because I drove by today, and the entryway looks so much better, because it was in a state of,
disarray.
it was kind of a mess on the entry. And in fact, Tim had gone by a few weeks ago and he sent me a text saying, we got to do something. And it's like, well, we've been trying for a year. And finally, Joe and CHFA have gotten Northeast Builders back on the job. So there was also at least 3 heavy pieces of equipment from Tilcon to do the entire drive. So, and Tilcon's certainly a major road construction company in Connecticut. So that gave me some assurance that it wasn't some fly-by-night organization doing it. So stay tuned. I think hopefully next month we'll have a lot of good news that will, be well on our way to completing this project that should have been done a long, long time ago. And does anyone have any questions on West Hill Congregate? Okay, why don't we move on to item 3, the Spencer Village update.
Yeah, just to say finally I signed my life away from my last board meeting. So Spencer Village, I sent a time schedule. They've started bringing equipment there yesterday and today. They will be starting with the roof projects and all the unit and all the different buildings beginning Monday of next week. We are starting to move residents to our 2 vacant units that we have at Spencer Village 2, and we will be relocating other individuals to the hotel adjacent to Spencer Village. So residents been very happy. We've had meetings out there, and tomorrow I have a major meeting with everybody, with the Marco Management, Pioneer Builders, Mary Ann from our office. So it's all exciting. Everything is finally going at Spencer Village. That was another 2-year wait. I think it's going to be very good. So I'm very happy that things are finally going with
Yeah.
us, Manchester Housing Authority, and for the residents at Spencer Village.
Yeah, and again, a lot of the roof work's going to be done before winter sets in, and then they have a pretty aggressive construction schedule from what you submitted to us. So that's certainly good news that we're moving forward.
And same thing with this, because one of the things CHFA did not want me to oversee this, so Niall from John D'Amelia will be I'll be watching this on a daily basis. So he'll be out there making sure that work is being done accordingly, and and he'll be verifying everything that they've been doing too. So it's good to have a person with that knowledge, mechanical and everything else. So there won't be any cut corners per se. So I think it would be a great team, and I feel very confident with Pioneer Builders. They've been they've been there for the past 2 years, so I give them a lot of kudos.
Yep, very good. Any questions?
No, this project is going basically through September of next year. That's what's anticipated at this point?
Correct. So the same thing like up at the congregate, Paul, this contract is, they're supposed to be finish the job within 1 year, but at times, as you saw, like up at the congregate, it could get extended, but
that was more because of the issue with the contractor. That wasn't the plan. It wasn't that they couldn't do the work on time. It's that they basically walked off the job.
Well, they walked off
Yeah.
the job, and that's the whole restructure, that if we had to pull bonds and all that stuff. So there was, as you know, I kept everyone abreast of what was going on with them. But yeah, then they walked off the job, and we almost had to go through a whole legal battle. So
No, I mean, if you think, 1 year seems reasonable. I was just thinking in terms of all the things that they have to do, but it's projected out that it's going to be 12 months. It's exciting. I think
it is. So I can't wait to see this project being done. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, that's good news. Okay, moving on. Item 4, the Circle of Friends newsletter, which we distributed. I was glad to see a lot of COVID information in there for tenants.
Yeah, it's going to probably be much more. So it's, the quarterly report that Mary Ann has to do, part of her grant that we get from the town and from CHFA. So job well done into the, so at least we told residents what we've done in regards to the COVID protection and everything else. So we had an outside entity that came in to do a thorough environmental cleaning. Now we finally have all the, Dave from our maintenance staff has gotten all the protective mist spray, backpacks, everything that you call for. So now our maintenance guys are able to do the cleaning, in which they will go around and do spraying every weekend on Fridays in the common areas, offices, and up at the congregate. So we should be A-okay. We're doing a lot of protective things for our residents and for the staff.
Very good. Okay. Moving on, item 5 is the expenses for COVID-19 dollars.
Yeah, so, this was a thing that, Commissioner, had,
Becker.
Tim had asked for. So here's all the expenses that we've have occurred during the whole year. As you know, one good thing that's come out in the past few weeks, at first when we got the COVID money, HUD only gave us until they utilized the money as of December 31st of 2020. And then all of a sudden, the housing authority ended up getting a little bit more money. Now it's been extended through December 31st of 2021. So at least it gives us a little bit more time of stuff that we may need or do it a little bit more prepared. One thing that I just did that you'll probably see next month on this report, I had hired Charter Oak Mechanicals, which is, right behind our office. We just did a whole air filtration system in our administration office. So trying to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
It's about a $15,000 expense. And now I got Charter Oak Mechanicals going up to the congregate to give me a price on that up there. Because, I did get some money from the state. So see what the cost is and to put an air filtration system also up at the congregate. Wish I knew about this earlier, but when we did the renovation, but here it is.
Yeah.
So, trying to keep our residents safe.
Very good. Any questions? Seeing none, we're going to move on to item 6, the chairman's report. I have nothing to report, so we'll pass on that. And we have no old business in item 7, so that brings us to item 8, new business. Resolution 2020-28, the 1-year annual plan and the 5-year action plan.
Yeah. So this report, if you read my note, this was actually due back on July 17th of 2020, but because of COVID, the federal government had given us an extension of 90 days. So this way, this is due by tomorrow, since the 18th is over the weekend. So basically, in our 1-year plan, since we are in the midst of the RAD component that we had, I had to do a thorough action plan in letting HUD know what we're going and what we're doing and everything else. So this has probably been a more complex 1-year plan that I put together along with Nathan Bonder, our consultant with the RAD transformation. So we need to make sure that everything that in regards to the RAD transaction that we had in this annual plan. Tomorrow, Nathan and I do have a phone conversation with Siemens, because the last hurdle that we need to try to clear is to see if we can pay off the remaining balance on the loan of our solar field. And if we can do that, then I think we're going to be very well with HUD to go forward, and then hopefully present next month's meeting the way we want to try to do with the RAD transactions. So, and basically it's, we got in there, what Boomer and I had worked along with Dave and the property managers to see what items needs to be done. We also took the capital needs assessment plan that we got when we did the beginning of the RAD, when we had a individual company come out and give us what they believe needs to be done on our properties. I feel very confident that HUD's going to approve this. It was sent to Scott Shanley and Heather Garrett because it needs to kind of mirror something with the town. They gave me thumbs up. They like the plan and everything else. So I'm just coming in front of the board requesting that that the board will vote on the MHA submission of the 1-year and 5-year plan to HUD that is due on Saturday.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2020-28?
I'll move it. It's Lisa.
Moved by Lisa, seconded by
Yep, I'll second.
Paul. Seconded by Paul. Any discussion? Obviously, this is one of our annual requirements to update both of these plans. So any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Paul, you're an aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's 3-0. Does anybody have item 9, items for future agenda?
I do not.
Okay, we can always add prior to our November meeting. So moves us to item 10. In talking with Joe, there is no executive session expected. So we can move past that and move to item 11, the adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'll second Lisa's motion.
Lisa has made the motion to adjourn, seconded by Paul. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye, and it is 6:58. Very good.
Everybody, I like that.
Yeah.
Record, John?
Yeah, unfortunately,